Storm chasing in a Prius. I guess I had it coming. When Chris discovered he had caught the Bolt in 4K 60, his Twitter blew up, the video got into the millions, and it wasn't long before Storyful Video took notice. Hey everyone, Pi here. Thanks for coming back for more. Before I knew it, my Prius had become the most famous on the internet. My friends got concerned, and I became the laughingstock of Prius haters. I mean, they were only partly right. After spending the night at the wrecker, I had it towed to the closest dealership. I had hoped that it would just be a few simple ECU swaps and I would be on my way, but it took them a week before they even started to look at it. Chris generously offered to take me back to Colorado, but I had already sent him well on his way. From the dealership, I was able to get a ride with an employee to Des Moines where I could get a rental car. But the only place with a one-way car rental called me back and said they didn't actually have any. So I tried calling some friends who actually have some parents that live there in Des Moines, and they generously agreed to let me stay with them. They actually only lived about a mile away from where the Winterset EF4 went through on the south side of Des Moines. Dang. Just all snapped off.
Yeah, and then I think right about here is where it crossed the street, because it's even over here too. But this whole street, it was covered in trees, and it was down.
Wow.
Oh, this is the one that looked like everything had been sucked out of it.
Oh, really? Wow, and so they have a new roof on it already, huh? As for getting home, I was actually able to find a Frontier ticket to Denver the next day, and the Rayburns agreed to hold on to my stuff until I could come back for it. All right, well, thank you so much, Mrs. Rayburn, for letting me stay with you for the night, and I really hope that the Prius can get fixed and I can come back and get all of my stuff, and so...
Oh, we're looking forward to you coming back.
All right, great. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So now that I'm back in Colorado, my best friend actually let me borrow his beater so that... but anyway, at least this means I can get around, but it's barely drivable on the highway, so to keep chasing, I was forced to get rental cars. Which was a good thing, or I would have missed the biggest chase of the year. Wow, look at that thing. Halfway into May, my chase budget quickly waned. So I took on some extra contract work cleaning and relabeling hundreds of cables. After a month, the dealer had only replaced the engine control module. And from there, they found 3 ECUs to be replaced before they could finish diagnosing. I had spent 50 hours organizing cables, so I was able to fit the first bill, but that paled in comparison to the second one. Even though they were able to find used ECUs, they did not recommend fixing it. So I turned to PriusChat.com, and everyone on there was saying that replacing ECUs is actually manageable. But how was I going to get the Prius all the way back to Colorado? Shipping was too expensive, working on it in their parking lot wasn't an option, though my sister and I were planning on storm chasing later this month, and she does happen to have the towing package on her Tacoma. Maybe we would just end up in that part of Iowa? Well, this is the first for me. I've never chased in Minnesota before. So Sister Pi and I are out here waiting and hoping the dew points will come through for us and for maybe some of these severe storms coming over the trees at this rest area here too. I normally wouldn't come all the way over here, but my Prius is finally ready to be picked up. It's not fixed, so we'll grab it tomorrow and start towing it back home. We got to see some interesting clouds, but the dew points just failed to come through for us. Well, after a bust of a storm chase yesterday, we're now in Humboldt, Iowa, where I spent the night at the wrecker.
It wasn't a bust, I had fun too.
Hopefully, next week, after we drop off the Prius back in Colorado, we'll see something better. There's the barn. Broken tree.
Looks like a brand new barn too.
Ouch, I haven't seen this side of it. Okay, you'll need to go slow so I can find the exact spot. In the video, you can see the antenna blow across the road, so unfortunately there's a lot of gravel here, so hopefully it got stuck here. It's been like a month and a half so far. Looked like only a part of it survived because it used to be way longer. On a Gen 2 Prius. Now using my GPS recorder app, which records a lot more data than Google Maps does. So hopefully it's around here. Here's one like right next to where it happened. After blindly walking over the antenna, I decided to see if I could try to find any marks in the road. Could look at Chris's video to see exactly where, but... Oh, right there! There they are. Scorch marks right there. Right here, here's one scorch mark. There's the other one. So that was from those wheels, and then maybe that one right there.
It kind of looks like one. That looks like one. So that just has to be from the outer tire.
There it is. That's hilarious. It's been out here for a month and a half. All right, here it is. God, she's stuck. It's a stick.
That had hundreds of thousands of watts of electricity hit it, Coach.
That's the only piece I can find from it.
Melted.
Once we were done reminiscing, we grabbed a tow dolly and headed back to the dealership. I just got the tow dolly back there. Making lots of noise.
Great. We have employees taking their lunch to watch us.
Yes. And it's facing the wrong direction. Let's get it on a tow dolly. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to go talk to them. Poor guy.
It's dead.
It's not!
No fixing it.
Yes!
Just gotta have a funeral for it today.
No! Yeah, you cannot go the other way. Yeah, might have to try this again. Oh man, the poor antenna base just zapped off. Hopefully that thing doesn't leak. We had never towed a vehicle before, let alone one that was stuck in park. Fortunately, one of the employees took pity on me.
You need any help? Well, you can go into neutral.
Oh, I asked Nicole that! So it's in neutral right now?
I think it is.
Okay. Alright, well thanks man, that'll make it so much easier. They're just falling over right now, so.
Yeah, I think.
Keep going. And we're in! Alright, there she is. What do you mean they were laughing at us?
I mean, you decided to hitch it up when there were like 6 people taking break all at once.
That one guy, he's looking at you.
No, you. And they're all talking about you.
Alright. So far, so good. Have you ever towed something this heavy before?
Yeah.
We took the trip in 2 days, which was a good thing because we were getting pretty tired. Oh, it was so nice to have one last reason to sleep in the Prius. Oh, here's to hoping that I will have many more reasons to come. My poor rotors are so rusty. Being passed by so many people while we're driving at the speed limit of the tow dolly. Meanwhile, back in Colorado, she yet again had a nice welcome back surprise for us. Though fortunately, it had melted a bit by the time we got there. I went ahead and got to work and ordered the ECUs I needed, which ended up being less than half of what the dealer wanted. But I have never taken apart the whole dash before, and tutorials in this area are kinda lacking. Here's the hybrid control ECU. So I just unplugged the wiring harnesses and pulled them out as far as I could. Oh man, these are barely long enough without having to take apart the whole dash. Alright, I can pull the safety plug. This cuts the voltage in half to the battery so I don't shock myself with over 200 volts. Ooh, this controls the giant battery. This is a slightly different part number, but it sounds like it shouldn't be too far off. Well, someone on the forums told me it should be good. This. Okay. The hardest one by far was the skid control ECU. It was down under behind the steering wheel. There's the last one. Just want to go on the 4th and 13th pin. Now, I can turn it on in accessory mode, wait for these lights to start flashing at me, and then all I have to do now is wait a half hour for the new ECU to pair with apparently what's called the immobilizer ECU. I have no idea what any of this stuff is actually doing. I'm just reading lots of forum topics on PriusChat.com. By the way, everyone, my subscribers get to watch my videos ad-free within the first day of me posting them. So you may want to subscribe too. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. Here goes nothing. Nothing.
Well, I think that's all I can do for now.
So I turned to a program that Toyota makes called TechStream. However, I could just buy a new car for how much they charge for it. Fortunately, older versions that run on Windows XP are everywhere online, and it can interface to the car with a mini VCI cable. After running a health check, it at least reported that 2 of the ECUs I installed were working, but not the skid control. So the next day I posted my progress on the forums, and Mr. Guyman here said to unplug these ECUs. If even one of those have failed, then that would bring the skid control ECU down. And if the skid control ECU is down, then everything else will go down too. First was the gateway. Apparently there's a latch here. Next, the airbag ECU. And there's the power steering ECU. Plugging them back in one at a time, and I found the culprit. Toyota TechStream here. Every ECU is showing up except the airbag, and then remote engine start, which I don't have. So that's a good sign, except there's lots of trouble code showing up here. Let's see what happens when I try starting it. Nothing. That night I was going through each trouble code one at a time, and I found a really simple fix for one.
But here's what's critical. Snap that thing down. You see how the thing comes up?
So here's the hybrid battery, and after going through the codes this evening, I found that there was one that refers to this little latch here, and I had forgotten to push that down. Still have yet to replace the airbag ECU down there, but let's just see what happens. Still a very sad Prius. I went ahead and cleared the codes just to see which ones would linger after restarting it. And then... Oh my gosh. I cleared the codes, and I wanted to get this on video, but it says ready. Turns out you have to hit the button twice every time the battery gets disconnected. Oh my gosh, I'm so started. Oh man, the engine sounded so rough starting for the first time in what? It's been a month and a half. It's stupid. It's this stupid clamp thing. It's actually running! Oh man, there's so many lights. See, we got a lot of codes here. Still showing up. There was 3 of them here under the hybrid control that was showing up for the thing, but oh my gosh, will this actually move? Ooh, the brake actuator, that may all... Oh my gosh, I'm in drive! Why do I still have a brake light on? Oh, I don't know why that's still on, but... Ooh, why is the brake actuator running so much? I haven't even started moving. Oh, I'm moving! The skid control ECU was still hanging down in front of the gas.
Dang it.
In my excitement, I totally forgot I had a trickle charger connected from the garage.
Shoot, I still have that extension cord plugged in. Gotta reverse. Oh man, I'm glad it didn't take off. Oh my gosh, it actually started. Oh, and look at that. Surprisingly, both headlights are still working, except for that standard light. Ooh, looks like we might have a, is that, no, that's outside. I thought the headlights were what popped when it got hit. Well, this is a little problem here. These are supposed to be lights on, but this is what the, I can't turn off the lights. I turn off the car, and the lights stay on. Sounds so much better. Man, I really wish I had recorded starting it for the first time, because the engine was going like, it's been so long since it had started.
So now it was just time to get the ECUs properly installed.
Gotcha. Sweet. One's fully installed.
No wonder the dealer wanted $2,000 to install these. It was such a pain to just get the old ones out.
Do it. There. ECU is connected. Yeah, okay, headlights are still on. What is causing that?
You make sure to unplug this time.
Thank you. All right, it's like beeping at me.
He drove away last night. Well, that's still plugged in, and in the process, he yanked it out of the closed garage and unplugged my fridge and my freezer and left them unplugged all night long. There's your big sister right for you.
Yeah! My brake pedal feels stiffer.
Whoops, sorry. He's actually driving this dead car, Ma.
Why would it feel stiff? There's still, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 warning lights on still. Why are they still on? I mean, I guess if I had to choose if they stay always on or always off.
Yeah, I've got some more work to do.
But it looks like it's getting cleared out of there pretty soon. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming
The
a doctor.
antenna is still working.
Guatemala dreams of being a part of the.
Now that the car's drivable, I thought what better way to celebrate than to go storm chasing?
I just got the car reinsured yesterday. Why are you beeping? Why is it beeping at me? Shoot, I don't know what this means. It wasn't beeping. Oh, emergency brake is still on. Since the brake light is always on now, I can't really tell when it's actually engaged or not.
My headlights still weren't turning off, the airbags were also disabled, my skid control wasn't releasing the brakes, and the brakes weren't recharging the battery, and my cruise control wasn't turning on. Even after all that though, the car still performed beautifully. But fixing the rest of the problems wasn't smooth sailing.
So this is like, I just started a new job, or I'm a new boss, I'm a new leader, or rhetoric.
Oh,
Staring at each other, or we have leadership.
Fortunately, the marks were only cosmetic, and hardly worse than what I already had. She admitted fault because she was looking at her phone, but I also felt partly responsible since I was driving a car that wasn't reliable yet. So we exchanged information, but ultimately just parted ways. It was a simple fix. I had actually just unplugged my headlight leveling ECU, which is what was causing my headlights to stay on. But once my car, I guess, had figured out that it was unplugged, I was able to restart it just fine and go on my way. I later got it replaced and haven't had a problem since. So I know all of this feels like way too much trouble to be putting into a car that has nearly 250,000 miles on it. But my grandpa always said, never trust a mechanic. So I guess I get to carry on that legacy, kinda? Well, trustworthy or not, I am really thankful to the mechanic that gave me a ride all the way down to Des Moines from Fort Dodge Toyota. I'm also thankful for the Rayburns for hosting me for a night, and they even took me all the way back up there to get the rest of the stuff out of my car. I'd like to thank Sister Pie for towing the thing back 800 miles to Colorado. I'd like to thank my best friend for lending me his beater for a month and a half, even if I couldn't chase in it. And I am indebted to Mr. Guyman on the forums for helping me troubleshoot this thing. All that's left now is to get the tire pressure monitor working again. That and the hybrid battery is starting to give me some problems, but I've been expecting to replace that for quite a while now. But for now, I am stoked to be able to hit the road again.